Did you know Stan Lee wrote his own version of Batman? And let me tell you, it's the second worst thing to happen in September of 2001. Now look, I understand that especially since Stan Lee's passing, he's one of those figures that it's kind of taboo to talk ill of. All I'm saying is that if you're in the camp that you believe Stan Lee stole credit from Jack Kirby, this comic is pretty damning evidence. Because it's not good. In fact, it's very bad. Let's jump right into Just Imagine Stan Lee's Batman. Stan reimagines Bruce Wayne as Wayne Williams, the son of a cop who's just been murdered. While working his shift at a convenience store, there's a shootout out front with a famous mobster known as the Hands. Wayne jumps in to save Hands' girlfriend. He doesn't like that, he gets super jealous, they get into a tussle. It's implied that Hands has potentially super strength and kinda just manhandles Wayne. And then later, Hands frames Wayne for robbing the store that he works at. Wayne is found guilty and is sent to prison. In prison, he gets a job in the sewing department, that'll come into play later. He befriends a bat that comes to his cell every night, that'll come into play later. Gets beat up standing up for this elderly scientist guy, they become friends, that'll come into play later. Then decides to train harder than every other prisoner combined and becomes super buff in a very short period of time. Then they shoehorn in this plot about like a racist church. That will not come into play later. Later there's an attempted prison break and Wayne ends up defending the warden, which ends up making him a hero and grants him a pardon. Now out of prison, Wayne and his bat friend go and get a hotel. He changes his appearance to try to hide from the Hands, decides he needs to make money, sees some wrestlers on TV and says that's how he's gonna get rich. So he uses his sewing skills to make his Batman costume and successfully becomes the best wrestler in the world. Using his fame and fortune, he buys a mansion and he's now officially the Batman. Oh, by the way, this all takes place in Hollywood, not Gotham. He breaks into the apartment of his old scientist friend, and he basically becomes an amalgam of Lucius Fox and Alfred. He gives Wayne night vision, sonar, Kevlar in his suit, and the ability to glide. So he takes his newfound suit and goes and fights the Hands, and just straight up murders them, just throws them off a balcony. And the girlfriend from earlier makes him feel bad about killing. It seems like they're setting up that this will be the origin of his no-kill rule, which is kinda lame. And we flash back to that racist church that's like, I'm gonna take down the Batman for some reason. And there's a several page montage of everybody looking at the Batman in the newspaper and it's showing that, hey, Batman's famous, he's a hero now. And that's it, that's Just Imagine Stan Lee's Batman. So yeah, I don't know, if you want like a fun, interesting comic for your collection, okay. Other than that, I do not recommend this book at all. It was a pain to read. Sorry, Stan, this one's not very Excelsior.